Les Brown used to always talk about his worst nightmare of lying on his deathbed and having the ideas, all the ideas he had ever had, some game-changing ideas, come to him and say, what happened? Out of all the people, all the billions of people we could have gone to on this earth, we came to you, and now we die with you. I'll tell you, that was my greatest fear, because I'm 55 years old, and I recognize that I've got a certain number of years left. And that recognition forces you to start thinking, I don't have time. But that's when we came up with the idea of more near than before. That you don't have to live in this compressed timeline of when things have to be done, living according to that stringent timeline, but rather more near than before. As you advance 1 inch, 1 centimeter, as you do one thing, maybe one day, 1 week, 1 month, you move that project forward. I'm now able to move multiple projects at the same time. Those ideas that I once had that would have remained in notebooks past my death, I'm now able to fly those projects, and I work them according to when they need work. You see, I've structured it according to an airport model, where the most important time for a flight is at takeoff and landing. When that flight is sitting at boarding, nothing's happening. When that flight is sitting at taxi out, more activities are happening. You're preparing for the actual project itself. You're recognizing, what's your passion? Do you really want to do this? When the flight is at takeoff, that's when the vast majority of energy is spent on any flight. Pushing that energy into it, the resources, making sure it's structured properly, building it from the foundation up. Once it's in cruising, that's when typically you're sitting with the project and you're not doing much with it. With most flights, I may have a flight up there for 6 months. I may have a flight for a year. I may have a flight up there for 5 years. It doesn't really matter as long as I'm moving the project forward. And that's how I'm able to also relieve the stress associated with, can I do this? Will I be able to do this? Because the way it works, once you start putting energy into something, once you start adding that momentum to a project, the obstacles seem to collapse around it. The great Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, although the path may be impeded, there can be no impeding your intention or disposition, for man has the ability to adapt and to accommodate. The mind adapts and converts to its own purpose, the obstacle to its own acting. In doing so, the impediment to the action advances the action. What stands in the way becomes the way. By structuring my projects the way I structure them and putting them in that flight mode, I can fly that flight for as long as I need to, knowing that I'm working on it. And sure enough, the answers to the questions that I've had regarding whether it's resources or whether it's knowledge or how to put this piece together with that, slowly come together and allow me to build my projects. And that's why I fly multiple projects. So I welcome you to come in and learn more about the Innovation Control Tower, as well as about Think Different Nation as a process and as a methodology. If you're interested in learning more about this groundbreaking solution and technology, then click the link below, and we'll see how deep the rabbit hole goes.